Welcome to this special edition of the David Robertson Show, where I'm your host, David Robertson. Well, we're on fair location, or I stand corrected. We're on location in the fair city of Ferndale, to be exact, at the McDonald's at the address of 55255 Woodward Avenue, the one just a little south of 9 Mile and Woodward. At any rate, viewers, this is more or less a public service and can be considered a clear-cut demonstration of concern. Well, our topic this evening is suicide. That is right, the taking of one's own life. Unfortunately, the fair city of Royal Oak has experienced such a devastation, along with several other major incidents, just the previous weekend, Saturday to be exact. I believe the 23rd. All downtown Royal Oak. Starting with the first. Unfortunately, young individual, I guess distraught if I'm not mistaken, due to a parting or breaking up with his girlfriend, went to a 7-story parking structure, folks. Drove his car right up to the roof, got out of his car, and walked to the edge and stepped off. Exactly. Stepped off. Well, without further ado, he sustained devastating, multiple internal injuries, and unfortunately, en route to the hospital, he had succumbed to his injuries. He didn't make it, folks. What a terrible loss. I'd like to take this particular point and ask Father God to send a comforter to his surviving loved ones and family members. What a loss. Folks, children, and I believe I can say that based on my age. If there's something irking you and bothering you, reach out and talk to someone. That doesn't make you odd or queer, but it may save your life. Folks, life is very precious. Don't do a thing to give it up, but make the most out of it. That young man can never come back. The moral of this, reach out. Talk to anyone, a friend, a neighbor, a police officer, a school teacher, a pastor. But by all means, do not take your own life. Tragedy number 2 in the fine city of Royal Oak. As you know, Royal Oak is known for its multiple bars and eateries and restaurants. Well, a group of kids again, playing daredevil or peer pressure with any route, 2-3 blocks away from the first incident, leaving a bar somewhat buzzed up. And if anyone knows that area, you have train and railroad crossing that comes directly through downtown Royal Oak. But also at each crossing, there's a pedestrian gate. And once that thing lowered with the flashing red lights, it means exactly that. Stop. Well, kids being kids, play chicken with the train. That's a term of saying being a daredevil with an oncoming train. If I'm not mistaken, it was 4 of them. 3 of them made it. The 4th did not. Unfortunately, he lost his footing, and that Amtrak train did the rest. Here's another one. Needless loss of life, who succumbed to his injuries as well while en route to Beaumont Hospital. And the third, that I'm sure the entire state, possibly the nation, has heard of this one. And I had the opportunity of interviewing that young man. According to the news, they say motorist hit two pedestrians and fled the scene, leaving them with major internal injuries. Upon further investigation, that was the end result of a fight, a fisticuff that took place in a nightclub downtown Royal Oak. The security officers and or bouncers had escorted both of the combatant groups out the bar, off the premises. Now, what ensued outside, according to the defendant, the young man I've interviewed, goes this way. He and a buddy got into a fight inside the bar. The bouncers put both fighting groups out, but his buddy made his way back into the bar, I guess to patch things up or say I'm sorry, while his buddy was physically in the bar and his friend is outside in a parked car. According to the defendant, his friend, the combating group who there was fighting inside the bar spotted him in that car. They charged that car. They start breaking windows and making a real effort to try to physically get a hold to him. He said the crowd became a mob. He panicked, started the car up and tried to get out. Well, in the process of doing that, unfortunately, he struck two individuals, hit one and ran over the other. And shortly after, he was apprehended. He had his arraignment yesterday. He's facing multiple major felonies, and if convicted, he can easily spend 5 or more years in penitentiary prison. They set what is known as a cash surety bond. For those of you who's unaware of a cash surety bond, that means the said amount in full. There's no percentage. Like in case if they say your bond is $5,000, well, normally 10% of that, which is $500, will be your bond, unless the judge see it fit to call it cash surety. They set a cash surety bond for this individual in the amount of $250,000. That's correct, viewers. $250,000 in full. No percentage. Now, I like to believe the judicial system is just and fair, and for them to feel the need to set such a bond, this defendant and or gentleman that I had the opportunity to personally interview prior to his arraignment must have been considered a clear flight risk. All these things took place last weekend in the city of Royal Oak. Viewers, all I'm saying is this: think before you do. Signing off, Yours truly, David Robertson. And I admonish you viewers to check out my channel, The David Robertson Show. Weigh in your thoughts, whether you like or dislike. Have a safe and sound evening.